The golden age of America begins right now.
Comments are still headed.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else is.
Coming to you now from the largest studio ever constructed, it's The Truman Show!
Yeah! Yes, they do.
How can it talk?
It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed them.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
Later, let's play global thermonuclear war.
Fine.
All right.
Well, the US military is scrambling to develop a Golden Dome defence system after President Donald Trump signed an executive order making it a priority for the Pentagon.
US correspondent Reid Butler is live with the details. Reid, not sure how this is all going to work, but he wants the system to mimic Israel's Iron Dome.
Yeah, guys, so you know the concept, a defence system that protects a country from missile strikes. But here's where they're different. Israel's Iron Dome selectively protects populated areas from short-range missiles in a country that is 3 times smaller than Tasmania. Donald Trump wants a space-based defence system capable of protecting all of America from hypersonic and ballistic missiles. Reports today are that US military officials have been told by the White House that no expense should be spared in making that ambitious plan a reality, and that funding needs to be allocated in new budget estimates for 2026 to 2030. Apart from that, though, it is still very much in the conceptual early days. Discussions, though, are underway. Trump's executive order on this, he signed the Golden Dome executive order shortly after returning to office.
I'm going out to inspect the troops.
Yes, sir.
Regular change today, General?
This is Atari Missile Command. Millions of people are mad for it in thousands of game centers across the country.
Interplanetary war is hurt.
Attention all generals. Now you can get your own Atari Missile Command video game and practice saving the world in the privacy of your home. Missile Command. Only from Atari.
To another edition of Thunderdome!
Sir, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Donald Trump. It's the Donald! Oh my God!
Mr. and Mrs. Trump, it's an honor to meet you.
Ron said his client had a rich uncle, but Donald Trump.
I like keeping a low profile.
Hi, Hillary Banks.
Hey, Hillary.
You know, you look much richer in person.
Hey, Mr. Trump. Hey, how you doing? Will Smith. Hey, listen, you are getting a great house here.
The Alchemist was really my first literary love affair. The concept of Santiago having a dream and risking everything to realize that dream really just blasted my mind open.
I realized that the book itself was a living, breathing organism. It's like a work of art. Two people can look at the same work of art and they can have completely different interpretations. They can be moved in different ways.
The alchemist tells Santiago that the whole of the universe is contained in a single grain of sand. Everything you need to know about life and about the world is contained in anything you're doing. You don't have to go looking for it. Everything you need, you're in possession of right this moment. I really connected to that concept.
The book is about transformation. Alchemy itself is about transforming. It's about evolving.
Some people look to the stars and ask, what if? Our job is to have an answer. We have to imagine what will be imagined. Plan for what's possible while it's still impossible. Maybe you weren't put here just to ask the questions. Maybe you were put here to be the answer. Maybe your purpose on this planet isn't on this planet.
It's about maturing. What I want audiences to feel is that they too can achieve. They can be the best version of themselves. They can realize it.
Whoever you are, you will be able to cheer and fear all along the road. The Alchemist is as perfect a hero's journey that you can get in a story.
We want to truly transport people. We want to give people the same experience David Lean gave audiences with Lawrence of Arabia. We want to take them to the Sahara Desert. We want to take them to the harsh environments of these worlds that we're telling our story.
There is a magical power to being in the actual environment of the story. The actors and the crew actually get to experience the travel that the characters in the story experienced, and it opens the minds and it adds to the creativity. That's why I think Morocco is perfection for this film.
We wanted to shoot in the high Atlas Mountains. We wanted to shoot in the Rift Mountains. And Morocco provides the most authentic opportunity to tell this story.
And this is quite a deal you're getting for it, too. Look, I'll tell you what. You want another 50 grand, I cut the grass for you every Saturday.
Look, folks, before we go too far, I've got something to tell you.
Excuse me, but I've got something to tell you first. Thank you for ruining my life!
Ashley!
What did you do?
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
Come on, let's sit down, sign some papers.
Mr. Banks, there's been a little mistake. Mr. Trump's nephew grew up at 508 St. Cloud Road.
And all this time, I thought our address was 805 St. Cloud Road.
It is, Hillary.
It's very embarrassing. Apparently, I inverted the numbers. I don't know what to say except I'm sorry.
That makes two of us.
Well, that's business. Let's go down the street. I brought cash. It's quicker.
Nice meeting you all. It's just as well. It's too much of a fixer-upper.
Yeah. How do you do this every night?
How do you not?
Fear of liver failure, mostly. We've been drinking for 3 hours, but I know you've been going since
Tuesday.
Why do you always push yourself like this?
Because it's fun, Linda. No rest for the soulless.
Okay, I didn't mean to ask you about that. You can't really mean that you don't have a soul.
Ah, That she does. No demons have souls. That's why they're notorious for living in the moment.
Yeah, when I die, that's it. Maze out.
So don't waste a single second. You humans could learn a thing from her. And me. Well, mostly me.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry, miss.
I have no complaints. We just try and keep things interesting. I mean, I was getting a little bored with the constant drinking, violence, sex. You know how it is.
Been blessed with our crew on this project. Gil is exceptionally strong producer. He's one of the best in the industry. Gil led us to assemble a crew that were very like-minded, and Gil was more than hands-on. He surrounded me by the best of the best.
The team we have on this project is ridiculous.
Listen on. This is the truth of it. Fighting leads to killing, and killing gets to warring, and that was damn near the death of us all. Look at us now, busted up and everyone talking about hard rain. But we've learned, by the dust of them all, Barter Town's learned. Now when men get to fighting, it happens here, and it finishes here. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Right now, I've got 2 men. 2 men with a gut full of fear. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here. He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Blaster! Direct from out of the wasteland. He's bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy. It's the man with no name.
There are millions of organic conversations on a daily basis online surrounding The Alchemist. It's the #1 motivational, inspirational text on the web. It's #1 on Facebook. On record, it's over 65 million books sold. That was a decade ago.
It's not unreasonable for me to say that this is my individual favorite book of all time.
And the Secretary of Defence, Pete Hegseth, has been tasked with coming up with details and a plan for this. He has to submit that plan by the end of next week, so watch this space. What is certain, though, is if this plan does come to fruition, it is going to be eye-wateringly expensive at a time when the Pentagon is looking to slash budgets.
Let's sum up. This year we explored the failure of democracy.
You know, it used to be we would have a military, you'd have uniforms here, uniforms there. The one with the most uniforms standing wins the war, right? This is a little different now.
These aren't people. These are animals.
That want to kill our civilians. They want to go after our civilians. They want to kill not only our civilians, all over the world. And it's going to be stopped.
Space is a war-fighting domain, just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a space force. develop another one. Space Force. We have the Air Force, we have the Space Force. We have the Army, the Navy. You know, I was saying it the other day because we're doing a tremendous amount of work in space. I said, maybe we need a new force. We'll call it the Space Force. And I was not really serious. And then I said, what a great idea. Maybe we'll have to do that.
We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the out of them. 100%.
One other thing I am certain of, guys, there is one group that is going to benefit in a big way from this, and that is the weapons industry.
True. I don't care. I don't care. They've got to be stopped.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America.
It's the most impactful piece of literature that I've ever experienced.
This book is so big. There are so many people in the world that have read it and they've reread it and they've reread it. We want to do right by them. We really want to make sure that we're authentic, we're true to the story, we're true to the themes, and that we truly make this a 4-quadrant international event movie.
From the script to the locations and sets and production design is unbelievable.
Our crew's assembled. Art department has designed sets. We're upstarting construction.
Every day I get more and more excited about seeing the movie come to fruition, and I cannot wait to share it with an entirely new audience around the world. The Alchemist is fire. You want to be down? I'm telling you, you want to be down.
We will not fail. Our country will thrive and prosper again. We stand at the birth of a new millennium.
Holy God.
And we're having a lot of fun. This is streaks and tips. What is streaks and tips? Oh, no, it's just temporary highlighting colors.
Exactly.
Oh.
Look at you! Ship all banged up! Who's the man? Huh? Who's the man?
They come down and mean, you know, they're not. See, if they came down, you know, because we would share, you know, humans would share, you know, we got some room. They could have like Idaho or something like that. They could have it, you know, nobody wants to be there anyway. They could have it, you know, but no, they want to act mean.
You gotta come down here with an attitude, acting all big and bad. And what the hell is that smell? I could have been at a barbecue!
That's why I shoot the alien down and all of that and drag them through the desert. It's like a salt desert. It's like one of the most bizarre attractions of nature you will ever see. You can actually see far enough that you can see the curvature of the earth. That's cool, right? That's real cool.
Ready to unlock the mysteries of space, to free the earth from the miseries of disease, and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow. A new national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions. Together, we will make
Space Force
great again.
You know, myself and Jeff Goldblum, you know, we're forced, you know, to give them a taste of their own medicine. It's like, how they gonna fight us with our own ship? That's not fair. Aha.
You heard of me? Heard of you? Who hasn't heard of yogurt?
Yogurt the wise. Yogurt the all-powerful.
Yogurt the magnificent.
Please, please, don't make a fuss. I'm just plain yogurt. But you're the one. Yes, I am the keeper of a greater magic. A power known throughout the universe as the
Force?
No, the Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Yes, the Schwartz.
Home. Take me home.
Superman.
But Yogurt, what is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up this door. Come, walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the t-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book. Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one. Last but not least, Spaceballs the doll. Me.
May the Schwartz be with you.
When he's not complaining, he's trying to sell you stuff. Have you noticed that? Who does that? You're running for president and you're hawking merchandise. Gold sneakers, $100,000 watch. Supposed to be Swiss watch, he says. The best watch. Why are you selling the watch? What are you doing? My favorite is the Trump Bible. True story. True story. I mean, it's embossed with his name right on it. Donald Trump edition, right next to Matthew and Luke. Donald.
Commander Murdoch?
What is it, Lieutenant?
Sir, the Mayflower's in trouble. She's coming in hotter than a firecracker, sir. Their computer's down, they've lost their crew, and they're flying on manual control, sir.
We better get to the tower, Lieutenant.
We have no tower, sir.
No tower?
Just a bridge, sir.
Why the hell aren't I notified about these things? Lieutenant, how would you handle this?
We could try ignoring it, sir.
I see. Pretend nothing has happened and hope everything turns out all right in the morning.
Just a thought, sir.
I've considered that. There's got to be a better angle. If they've lost their crew and are on manual, who's in control of that bucket, Lieutenant?
Some guy by the name of Ted Stryker, sir.
Ted Stryker?
Do you know him, sir?
Never heard of him. That's not exactly true. We were like brothers. We flew together during the war. We were close, real close, until...
Until, sir?
Until that day over Macho Grande.
Over Macho Grande, sir?
No, I'm afraid I'll never get over Macho Grande. Forget it, Lieutenant. It wasn't a pretty picture. Let's go.
Right, sir.
What have you found?
All I found is that these red lights keep moving back and forth. Aside from that, this thing seems to have no other function whatsoever, sir.
Well, that's impossible. It must have some sort of function. I mean, why would the government put all that money into a thing with red lights that keep going back and forth? Doesn't make any sense. Keep working on it.
Sir, these lights keep blinking out of sequence, sir.
I see.
What should we do about it, sir?
Get them to blink in sequence.
You.
Rorschach.
And I'll give you one guess where those Bibles are made. He's Mr. Tough Guy on China, except when it comes to making a few bucks. You cannot make this stuff up. You really can't. if some of this stuff happened on Saturday Night Live, you'd be like, all right, that's going too far. That didn't really happen. But it did.
You think they have any clue what's about to happen to him?
Oh, not a chance in hell.
So, global crisis averted?
Yes, for now. So we can talk about Caligula, Stalin, Trump. I mean, I know he's not dead, but he's definitely going.
I just think that it would be arrogant of us to think that humankind is the only kind that exists in the entire universe. You know, how is that possible? But no, I'm like a conspiracy junkie though, so I believe all that stuff.
I'll tell the government right now, tell you right now if you're listening, NSA, CIA, I'm available, okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother.
What do you got?
Well, we've run these tests, sir. Thank you, Rorschach. What do you make of these, Captain?
It's a bird, it's a cow, it's a horse with a hat on.
Sir, I pulled Ted Stryker's record.
And?
I don't think you're gonna like it.
God, that's worse than I thought.
Sir? They should hit our atmosphere in about 3 minutes. How do you want to play it?
I want a 6-foot trench dug around the entire base. Fill it with gasoline. Sir! You.
Yes, sir.
Get the women and children to the lower shelters. Contact the Japanese ambassador. Sir. Rorschach!
Yes, sir.
Get me a complete file on everyone who's seen The Sound of Music more than 4 times.
Yes, sir.
On second thought, kill those orders. Downscope.
Can it really be? Do you think about that stuff? You do think about it, right? I do. I think about it all the time. Who knows?
Welcome to Earth.
Oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've been trying to gun him up a little bit. You gotta gut him up a little bit. You know, you gotta be an action hero. You gotta have your guns right. You know, you can't let your guns slip off. You know. So. But no, none of that now. There'll be none of that.
Elvis has left the building.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, I love him.
Fate can play a strange game sometimes, Lieutenant.
Fate, sir?
Stryker wipes out his entire squadron over Macho Grande. And now those people's lives up there are in his hands. I guess irony can be pretty ironic sometimes. But it's his ship now. He's the top dog. The big man. Numero uno honcho. The head cheese. I just hope he has the right stuff.
We have the mightiest military in the long history of humankind. We have the best and most devoted workers ever to walk the face of the earth. And now we're combining all of these amazing strengths for the most aggressive vaccine project in history. There's never been a vaccine project anywhere in history like this. And I just want to make something clear. It's very important. Vaccine or no vaccine, we're back. And we're starting the process. And in many cases, they don't have vaccines. And a virus or a flu comes, and you fight through it. We haven't seen anything like this in 100 and some odd years, 1917. But you fight through it, and people sometimes, I guess, we don't know exactly yet, but it looks like they become immune, or at least for a short while and maybe for life. Security is going to be a very big factor with respect to space and space exploration. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? The Vice President will serve as the Council's the future of American space leadership. We're going to lead again. It's been a long time. It's over 25 years. Today, we're taking a crucial step to secure America's future in space by reviving the National Space Council after it has been dormant almost 25 years, if you can believe it. Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space.
President Donald Trump has announced his ambitious Golden Dome missile defense project, drawing parallels to Ronald Reagan's historic Star Wars plan. At the heart of this initiative is the secretive U.S. Space Force X-37B spaceplane, which may soon host advanced laser weapons to target enemy ballistic missiles in orbit. If successful, this could become the ultimate shield against rising nuclear and hypersonic threats from Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea.
The golden age of America begins right now.
The past can be beautiful. Letters burning by my bed for you. A memory, a dream, but it's no place to live. And now is the time. The only way out is up. And it's not heaven, it's a new world. The future is gold. J'adore.
Hey, Max. Lenny Meyer. Sorry, put it out. So, what do you do?
I work with computers, math.
Math? What kind of math?
Number theory. Research mostly.
No way, I work with numbers myself. I mean, not traditional. I work with the Torah. Amazing! You know, Hebrew's all math. It's all numbers. You know that? Yeah, look. The ancient Jews used Hebrew as their numerical system, man. Each letter's a number. Like the Hebrew A, Aleph, it's 1. B, Bet, it's 2. You understand? But look at this. The numbers are interrelated. Like take the Hebrew word for father. Av, Aleph, Bet. 1, 2 equals 3. All right? Hebrew word for mother, Aim, Aleph, Mem. 1, 40 equals 41. Sum of 3 and 41, 44. All right? Now, Hebrew word for child. All right? Mother, father, child. Yelad. That's 10, 30, and 4. 44. Torah is just a long string of numbers. Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just kid stuff. Check this out, okay? The word for the Garden of Eden, Kedem. Numerical translation, 144. Now the value of tree of knowledge, all right, in the garden, right? Eitz HaChaim, 233. 144, 233. And you can
Those
take
are
those
Fibonacci
numbers. So,
You know, like the Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci is an Italian mathematician in the 13th century. If you divide 144 into 233, the result approaches theta.
Theta?
Theta. The Greek symbol for golden ratio, golden spiral.
Wow. I never saw that before. That's like that series you find in nature? Like the face of a sunflower?
Wherever the spirals.
You see this math everywhere.
Say you're me and you're in math class and your teacher's talking about, well, who knows what your teacher's talking about. Probably a good time to start doodling, and you're feeling spirally today, so yeah. Oh, and because of overcrowding in your school, your math class is taking place in greenhouse number 3. Plants. Anyway, you've decided there's 3 basic types of spirals. There's the kind where as you spiral out you keep the same distance, or you could start big but make it tighter and tighter as you go around, in which case the spiral ends. Or you could start tight but make the spiral bigger as you go out. The first kind is good if you really want to fill up a page with lines, or if you want to draw curled up snakes. You can start with a wonky shape to spiral around, but you've noticed that as you spiral out it gets rounder and rounder. Probably something to do with how the ratio between 2 different numbers approaches one as you repeatedly add the same number to both, but you can bring the wonk back by exaggerating the bumps and it gets all optical illusion-y. Anyway, you're not sure what the second kind of spiral is good for, but I guess it's a good way to draw snuggled up slug cats, which are a species you've invented just to keep this kind of spiral from feeling useless. This third spiral, however, is good for all sorts of things. You could draw a snail or a nautilus shell, an elephant with a curled up trunk, the horns of a sheep, a fern frond, a cochlea, and an inner ear diagram, an ear itself. Those other spirals can't help but be jealous of this clearly superior kind of spiral. Better draw more slug cats. Here's one way to draw a really perfect spiral. Start with one square and draw another next to it that is the same height. Make the next square fit next to both together, that is, each side is length 2. The next square has length 3. The entire outside shape will always be a rectangle. Keep spiraling around, adding bigger and bigger squares. This one has side length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now 21. Once you do that, you can add a curve going through each square, arcing from one corner to the opposite corner. Resist the urge to zip quickly across the diagonal if you want a nice smooth spiral. Have you ever looked at the spirally pattern on a pine cone and thought, hey, sure are spirals on this pine cone? I don't know why there's pine cones in your greenhouse. Maybe the greenhouse is in a forest. Anyway, there's spirals, and there's not just one either. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 going this way, or you could look at the spirals going the other way, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Look familiar? 8 and 13 are both numbers in the Fibonacci series. That's the one where you start by adding 1 and 1 to get 2, then 1 and 2 to get 3, 2 and 3 to get 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, and so on. Some people think that instead of starting with 1 plus 1, you should start with 0 and 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, and it continues on the same way as starting with 1 and 1. Or I guess you could start with 1 plus 0, and that would work too. Or why not go back one more to -1, and so on. Anyway, if you're into the Fibonacci series, you probably have a bunch memorized. I mean, you've gotta know 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Finish off the single digits with 8, and ooh, 13, how spooky. And once you're memorizing double digits, you might as well know 21, 34, 55, 89, so that whenever someone turns a Fibonacci number, you can say, happy Fib birthday. And then, isn't it interesting that 144, 233, 377, but 610 breaks that pattern, so you'd better know that one too. And oh my goodness, 987 is a neat number, and well, you see how these things get out of hand. Anyway, 'tis the season for decorative scented pine cones, and if you're putting glitter glue spirals on your pine cones, during math class, you might notice that the number of spirals are 5 and 8, or 3 and 5, or 3 and 5 again, 5 and 8. This one was 8 and 13, and one Fibonacci pine cone is one thing, but all of them? What is up with that? This pine cone has this wumpy, weird part. Maybe that messes it up. Let's count the top. 5 and 8. Now let's check out the bottom. 8 and 13. If you wanted to draw a mathematically realistic pine cone, you might start by drawing 5 spirals one way and 8 going the other. I'm going to mark out starting and ending points for my spirals first as a guide, and then draw the arms, 8 one way and 5 the other.
There's a conspiracy to hide this information that DNA is a Fibonacci, is an exemplification of a ratio sequence called the golden ratio, the ratio that proves the existence of intelligent design, or the reality of intelligent design of the cosmos. I mean, if you go to the golden ratio site for Wikipedia too on the same theme, they don't mention any of this stuff in nature that we're going to talk about here, that we talked about in the show 2 days ago, and that we're talking about here. They talk about how it's found in architecture and math and all this kind of stuff. They don't discuss it how it's found in the measurements of the human arm. Why not? It's just, I mean, well, I think I'm making, that's the point here. I think that just made sense to me, thinking this through as I say it to you. It has to be a conspiracy. How could all this be overlooked, and how could Wikipedia leave it out? It can't be. There has to be somehow that big money has pushed their influence somehow, and they've had a drive to keep this covered up or something. These can't all be coincidences, and since they're doing that with everything else, it has to be the case that there's some movement to keep this stifled. I mean, why isn't, and here's another piece to add to this, why isn't this in our education system? We learn all this junk geometry pea brain stuff when you take geometry in high school, and they don't teach you about any of this, the golden ratio everywhere in nature. I went through elementary school, high school, college, undergrad degree in college, master's degree, and halfway through PhD, and never was any of this mentioned. And we know who controls the universities, the big money behind it, all the way up to the Illuminati Nephilim controllers. So this can't be. This is planned, okay? And you just wonder. It's got to. I mean, I'm almost concluding here in my mind this Davidson College site showing up #1 in Google all the time and first page, and Wikipedia having these strange measurements which don't correlate with all kinds of these examples from academic sites I'm finding. I'm putting them all, pictures of the screenshots in the newsletter. It's got to be a conspiracy. I mean, we could keep going compiling the evidence. It would just all lead to it. So, and if we could keep compiling evidence of it being a conspiracy, I mean, everything points towards it. I'm just throwing ideas off the top of my head. These strange sites show up at the top. Wikipedia is wrong. It's covered up completely in the best-selling books about the golden ratio, which come from wealthy university professors. It's the universities and government-controlled education system absolutely covers it up. You see how, I mean, everything's falling in the same direction. So when everything, all these conclusions point to the same direction, that it's covered up and hidden.
God's creation, the ones, each star has its name, as it says in the scripture. God says, I have named them all. These are the eyes. These are the eyes on the wheels. Our stars. I just can't help but to quote from Isaiah 40:26. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power, not one faileth. This is what people have been missing this whole time, and it's been right in front of our faces in the scripture. This is what God was showing Ezekiel. The wheels within the wheels are the belts that surround Earth. NASA calls them the Van Allen belts. These are the invisible belts of magnetic energy within the torus that keep everything in motion, everything moving like a fine-tuned clock. All the eyes that Ezekiel saw was the stars. All the stars are created by God. They are the luminaries. That is what makes up all the eyes that is being spoken of. What Ezekiel saw was the absolute pure beauty of our home that God created for us. This is what Satan wants you blinded to. This is the absolute magnificence that Satan doesn't want you to see. This is why they mockingly show you that image in Game of Thrones and other movies, the wheels within the wheels over the flat plain earth. They're showing you the truth right in front of your face, and they laugh because you don't understand and you don't see. This is the beauty, this is the sheer absolute beauty of the world that God created, and He called it good. Now that you have eyes to see and ears to hear, now let me tell you this. These wheels that we see, these bands that move like a clock, this is how the sun and the moon do what they do. This explains their movements. It's all about magnetic energy. It's all about the magnetic fields. This is how they're frictionless and how they move in perfect unison. And just as it states in the book of Enoch, through the movement of these wheels, we see how the sun and moon will go through their vaults and rise and return in different areas. This is what the globe has blinded people to. The absolute truth of what God said all along. It has been here the whole time in the scriptures.
So there's Fibonacci numbers in pine cones, but are there Fibonacci numbers in other things that start with pine? Let's count the spirals on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The leaves are hard to keep track of, but they're in spirals too, of Fibonacci numbers. What if we looked at these really tight spirals going almost straight up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. A Fibonacci number. Can we find a third spiral on this pine cone? Sure, go down like this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. But that's only a couple examples. How about this thing I found on the side of the road? I don't know what it is. It probably starts with pine, though. 5 and 8. Let's see how far the conspiracy goes. What else has spirals in it? This artichoke has 5 and 8. So does this artichoke-looking flower thing. And this cactus fruit does too. Here's an orange cauliflower with 5 and 8, and a green one with 5 and 8. I mean, 5 and 8. It's actually 5 and 8. Maybe plants just like these numbers, though. Doesn't mean it has anything to do with Fibonacci, does it? So let's go for some higher numbers. We're gonna need some flowers. I think this is a flower. It's got 13 and 21. These daisies are hard to count, but they have 21 and 34. Now let's bring in the big guns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17, 20, 24, 42, 53, 54, 55. I promise this is a random flower and I didn't pick it out specially to trick you into thinking there's Fibonacci numbers and things, but you should really count for yourself next time you see something spirally.
Instead, we choose to listen to NASA. Instead, we choose to listen to the idiot box. Instead, we choose to listen to scientists, and we heap amongst ourselves teachers that teach us absolute lies to keep us in the dark, when God's been saying the whole time, just look up at what surrounds you. I made this for you. That's all God wanted to say. Just take a look. I'm here. I am right above you. You can take comfort knowing that when you step outside and gaze up into that starry wonder of God's creation, just know that our Father in heaven is sitting up there right now, staring down at all of us, watching our every move. He knows everything that's going on down here. He has not missed anything. And just know and be comforted by the fact that our Father is right there, and He's been there this whole time. This is something that the world and NASA and the scientists can never take from us, ever. Even the lying powers and signs of Satan that are coming, the lies of the fallen angels and the lies of the world that are going to be ever increasing, will still not rob this from my heart. And they will never rob from me my faith in Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless His name. My soul, it loves Jesus. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yeah, my soul. My soul. Over in the midnight hour, my soul. He speaks to my soul. Tells me everything is gonna be alright. My soul. It loves Jesus. I'm so glad my soul loves Jesus. Bless His name.